Hello, good morning, welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's the newspaper review here on Thav TV. My name is Williams Abule. If this is the first time you're seeing this video, connect with us by first subscribing to this channel and clicking on your notification to always get notified whenever we come on with a new episode. We're also on other social media handles. We're on Facebook as Thav TV. On Instagram is Thav TV _NG. And on Twitter, it's at Thav TV. So do well to connect with us on any of this platform. And of course, that's where you can drop your comments and your reactions regarding the headlines we'll be reading to you from our newspapers across board. So join us as we go to the headlines this morning. Okay, we begin with this day newspaper for today, the 23rd day of February 2022. And the big headliner here on this day newspaper says, citing emergence of previous chairman, Buhari okays consensus for APC convention. Okay, that's the big headline on this day newspaper. Other headline on this day newspaper, we see Nigeria, Iraq kick against hike in OPEC oil output as prices surge towards $100. And at the bottom part of that paper, we see at launch of third force, Kwankwanso promises better deal for all Nigerians. Okay, we move on to the Punch newspaper for today, the 23rd day of February 2022. And the headliner here says APC, okay, March 26th convention. March 26th convention, APC factions fault party. Buhari, governors opt for consensus. Zoning, you see there, Kwara, Osun, Rivers. Orders warn APC against holding convention without resolving crisis. North, South to swap positions, El Rafai. PDP mocks APC, says ruling party unorganized. All right, and then we see other headline here on the Punch. This is where we see delay in electoral bill accent will affect preparations for 2023 polls. CSO tells Buhari. Okay, we go on and then we move to Leadership newspaper. Leadership newspaper here. The headline, the big headline on the Leadership newspaper says, 7 days to go. Pressure mounts on PMB to sign electoral bill. And that story is on page 4 of the Leadership newspaper. The sub-headline under that headline says, CSO embark on aggressive protests against delay. PDP fingers top government officials. It may be signed in a matter of hours, says presidency. All right. Do well to pick up a copy of the Leadership newspaper and jump to page 4 of that paper. That's where we get the full story. We also see here on the top part of the Leadership newspaper, we see Russia-Ukraine crisis. Oil price nears $100 PB, highest since 2014. And then we see here an interesting one, I must say, court jails ex-minister. 2 orders, 3 months for 450 million naira fraud. I'll take that again. It said court jails ex-minister, 2 orders, 3 months for 450 million naira fraud. Okay, so you need to get details of that story. Do well to pick up the Leadership newspaper, and you get the whole story there. Next, we go to the Daily Sun newspaper. And on the Daily Sun newspaper, we see National Convention. Finally, APC agrees on zoning, not to produce chairman, South Secretary. And that story is on the 6th page of the Daily Sun newspaper. Other headlines here on the Daily Sun newspaper, we see Igbo floats stabilization fund seek 5 billion naira takeoff, and that story is on page 25 of the Daily Sun newspaper. At the bottom part of the paper, we see Buhari will sign electoral bill. Buhari will sign electoral bill, presidency. APC frustrating electoral reform over e-transmission of results, PDP. APC frustrating electoral reform over e-transmission of results, PDP. And then at the very, very bottom part of that paper, we take this one too. It says, reps wade into ASU strike, charge federal government lecturers to honor agreement. And that story is on page 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper. All right, so do well to pick up that paper so they can get all the story. Next, we go to the New Telegraph newspaper. And on the New Telegraph newspaper, we see fringe, let me take it from the top. It says, looming implosion of APC, PDP. Fringe parties aim to reap. Mule leadership rejig. Fringe parties aim to reap. Mule leadership rejig. Third force coalition imminent. Okuniyi. Why smaller parties can't battle APC, PDP, CNPP. Scribe. Restructuring doable, says Kwankwaso Factory. All right, that's on New Telegraph newspaper, and it's on page 26 and page 2 and 7. That is page 2 and 7. So do well to pick up that paper and get the full story there. We see boost for Nigeria as Ukraine crisis sends oil prices near $100 a barrel. And then lastly, at the very bottom part of the New Telegraph newspaper, we take this one. It says, Buhari meets convention. Okay, let's take it from the top. It says, convention, party leadership, Buhari meets APC governors, calls for consensus. Okay, all right. We move on to Nigerian Tribune. And down Nigerian Tribune, the headliner here says, APC zoning, North gets chairmanship, South to get presidency, as party agrees to swap offices between North, South. Buhari favors consensus, Bagudu. APC won't collapse after Buhari Lalong. Postponement of APC convention explains Nigeria's shambolic state, PDP. All of that gist is on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Other stories here on the Nigerian Tribune. We see constitutional review, Senate to vote Tuesday, Reps Wednesday. And that story is on page 16 of the Nigerian Tribune. And then we move on to other stories here. It says, Reps grill importers of adulterated fuel as 3 firms deny allegation of importation of toxic petroleum product. I'll take that again. It says, Reps grill importers of adulterated fuel as 3 firms deny allegation of importation of toxic petroleum product. We go to the top part of that paper. We see Diezani's 450 million naira bribe. Ex-minister Ochekbe, 2 others badge 6-year jail term each. And that story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. So do well to go there and get the full story. Well, that's all we can take from the newspapers this morning. And do well to drop your comments and your reaction on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. For you to do that, you need to first of all subscribe to this page. And of course, turn on the notification. And also follow us on all our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Thav TV. And of course, Twitter too. You can tweet at us on Twitter. We're right there too. So for today, our next on the program is our interview or our review segment, where we bring in a guest to talk about the headlines we've read out to you this morning. Stay with us as we do this. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us up to this time. Next on the program is our review segment, and I've been joined by Mr. Victor Sioko, our commentator here in the studio. Thank you very much for joining us once again.
Sure.
All right, so let's go to the headlines I read out this morning. Very interesting one. But this one tops most of the papers this morning, and it's about the APC upcoming convention. And let me read it as it appears on Nigerian Tribune. And it says, APC zoning, North gets chairmanship, South to get presidency. All right, so obviously the APC has been able to come to a consensus and say, okay, we're giving the presidential ticket to the South. What's your take on all of this?
Okay. A smart move by the head of the parties, and the cool thing is that the presidency also acknowledged the fact that they should go ahead and zone.
Yeah.
So that it is more, it makes it simpler, as in the process is process of getting the leaders of the party. It makes it simpler, and they wouldn't have to spend more. And yeah, He came out to say the South should go
For the
to take the
ticket.
presidency, the North to take the
The-
head of the party, as in the chairmanship of the party.
Yes.
Although, just as usual, things will
Yeah.
come up,
Yeah.
and you may want to ask what happens to the northern guys, the presidential aspirants from the
yes,
north,
yes.
like Bello of Yahaya Bello of Kogi State.
Yeah.
What will be his fate? Then you also ask. Some people are like, okay, you okay this, and also okay the fact that the primary should happen March 26th.
Yes.
But they are like, our state congresses are not intact. Our state congresses, there is turmoil happening.
So there's still some internal rumbles.
Yes, let's settle the differences, the issues we have first, before we start talking about the national convention. In Osun State, there is problem. There's faction of Arebo Shola,
Yeah.
the Minister of Interior. There's problem in
Even
Kwara State.
In River State.
Yes, River State. Kwara State, there's problem. This guy is the factional leader, Lai Mohammed.
Yeah.
You have River State. In fact, they say that 21 states in the whole country, there is an issue. State Congress issues. So why don't they go settle that first? Since there is there is still time from now till the time of, what do you call them? The presidential convention. There's still time. Why don't we take it easy and sort all these issues before there will be an implosion in the party?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one coming from the APC house, but the bottom line is that in whatever they do, they know that they are, the time is really short for them and they really need to get their acts together. And we've said that many times here on this program. Well, moving on, this very story, very, very interesting story here, talking about the way Nigerian Tribune puts it, is Diezani's 450 million naira bribe, ex-minister Ochokbe. 2 others badged 6-year jail term each. All right. I also saw on other newspapers where there was also the option of fine for this ex-minister. This is the first time in a long time where we see government officials actually being jailed for certain crimes that they committed. What's your take on this?
Well, I have an issue with the judgment. Well, the law is there for them to interpret. But why would you be convicted for such crime and you be given an option of 2 million naira fine?
Yeah, an option of fine.
It doesn't make sense. And also, my issue there is, this happened in 2015. This is 2022. Why take over about 7 years to do this conviction, as in to come to judgment?
Another side of it is, okay, you are jailing somebody that committed fraud up to the tune of 450 million naira, and you're giving the person the option of fine of 2 million naira. I mean, the person can easily pay that and just walk free. And so why not give a stiffer, what are they calling it, option of fine, or the fine that is. I mean, that is a negligible sum that people can just overlook and walk away.
And
so,
they know these people, they have the capacity to pay those.
What is 2 million naira? What's 2 million?
450. Okay, let's say they use the 450 that they got in that 2015 to do investment. What will it do?
Okay, yeah, that money would have yielded so much more. Even if they had pegged it at 100 million naira, it's still too small. Because what we Nigerians, or what we are hoping to get, is to see government officials being actually punished for their crime, to make them understand that there are always consequences for these things they do. But that is not the case yet in Nigeria, because most political, position holders feel that it is a free-for-all thing. So you do this and you get away. It's been it.
And I also asked, this happened in Plateau.
Yeah.
Okay, and the court in Plateau also handled the case. Now, 450 million naira, mind you, it was not, it was cash. So why would a bank, in as much as, yeah, they are saying it's Fidelity Bank, the news came out that it's Fidelity Bank, but why would a bank pay 450 to an official, a government official, in cash? So will this just happen? Will it happen and there will not be any investigation to the bank?
Because it's obvious that it's not just the minister.
Yes.
There's some kind of a cabal
Yes.
that she worked with. There's some other people from the bank also joined in getting this.
And I bet you they will not. A bank manager can't pay that money without getting
Approval.
no some sorting. This is
Oh,
Nigeria.
oh, yeah, that's true though.
Eh?
Because
You
he
can't pay
has
that money,
he has some kickbacks
and
for
they will
himself.
not give you something from the bank.
Yes, yes.
So the investigation should continue. They shouldn't just leave it that way. It's a lot of money,
It's a lot of
and
money.
we need to start paying for our actions in this country.
That's the point. And if that happens, I want to believe that a lot of our government officials will try to reduce the way they go about this stealing, because it's too much. It's rampant and it's everywhere, and nobody's doing anything about it. Look at the current fuel crisis that we're having. You know, somebody has imported a bad fuel. They can't tell me that they don't know the set of people that did this.
Yes.
They know, but the reps, House of Reps, is saying that we are looking into it.
We are probing the market.
So this is how they will probe it for 1 year. A whole year will go. This probe is still on nobody's head, or nobody has been arrested for it. And these are the things that we need to stop. At least let's begin from somewhere to start to change things, and let it start from somewhere. Well, that's the headlines we'll be taking this morning, Mr. Victor. I know our time is fast spent. Thank you very much for always coming through. And to our viewers, thank you very much for staying with us up to this time. Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and here on YouTube. On YouTube, you need to subscribe and turn on your notification to always get notified. Until next time, I come again on the Newspaper Review. My name is William Sabule. Stay well and stay safe.